Films and fermentation, movies and inebriation. Films and fermentation, comedy mixed with tasty libations. Films and fermentation, with Leo, Kevman, and Mike.
Hey, everybody. I am so excited tonight. I have been dying to do this episode, waiting a week now to record this tonight. I am the only one excited about this. I tortured my good friends Mike and Kev with the content for the night, but I am so jazzed. Folks, happy holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or Life Day. Tonight is going to be an awesome episode because we are doing the Star Wars holiday special for our Christmas episode. This is episode 177, Christmas in a Galaxy Far, Far Away.
Thank God it's far, far away.
This episode is actually going to be dropping on Christmas Eve.
Yes, it is.
Welcome to Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast, the number one pop culture podcast on Good Pods. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Brain Dead Mike.
We're three friends, possibly former friends by the time we get through this episode, who'd like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. Mike's been shit-faced for 7 hours now. The hell of a pregame, Mike. In this episode, we're taking a deep dive into the infamous Star Wars holiday special, a 1978 fever dream that George Lucas probably wishes he could force choke out of existence. It's got everything. Awkward Wookiee family drama, Bea Arthur running a cantina, and intergalactic PornHub. If you've ever wondered what happens when Star Wars meets disco-era variety show, well, we've got the answer, and it's terrifying. So grab a drink strong enough to face Life Day, and let's break this intergalactic train wreck down.
I don't know about you guys, but I thought Bea Arthur was the best part of the whole show.
Yeah, there was something wistful about that whole.
Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye, friends. Don't forget that. Yeah.
Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye, friends. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break for Christmas and New Year's, and I'm hoping that Mike and Kev start talking to me again by the time we come back for our next episode. So
don't worry, I'll send you the little short mini pod later this week.
Don't forget to drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. Become part of the Films and Fermentation family by supporting us on Patreon. Remember, we are an independent podcast, which means we are listener supported. So please consider supporting us by going to patreon.com/filmsandfermentation for as little as $1 a month to receive members-only content. Yes, for $1 a month, you will get back rub coupons from Mike. Go to patreon.com/filmsandfermentation or buy our merchandise at teespring.com. Sorry, I forgot to come up with a funnier one before the show, so I was just kind of spitballing.
I thought
those soft, gentle fingers caressing,
Well, no. Remember, it's always about Mike's toes, so the massage is actually a foot. He's going to walk on your back. Going to do one of those walk on your backs.
Nice.
You can also text us at 904-867-4466. That's the text line for Films and Fermentation. Speaking of shout outs, I'm going to give a little shout out to somebody who commented.
Real quick. Mm-hmm. I think for your punishment for this episode is you should redo that whole thing with to support us as an ASPCA commercial. So this winter, please help our podcasters stay warm this winter.
Help Mike maintain his Wi-Fi so he doesn't keep dropping out on us while we're recording.
Hey, I did some maintenance on the computer the other day.
Did you get an extender because you're coming in really crisp tonight?
No, I had to do some updates and do some cleanup on the computer. That's all.
All right, good. So Speaking of shout outs, I did a little mini clip from our previous episode for Gremlins. It was when we were talking about Craven the Hunter and its Rotten Tomato score.
Yeah.
And we got I wrote, I put in a short clip about how low the score was, and Mr. Biggs on TikTok put down it's because they didn't pay their endorsement fees, talking about the movie studios paying off the reviewers. So thank you, Mr. Biggs, for the comment on TikTok. So, gentlemen, what are we drinking this evening?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Mike.
I may not be awake long enough to do it later. I am doing Southern Tiers Specialty Chestnut Parleen Imperial Ale, 8.6% alcohol by volume.
So you've been pre-gaming for 8 hours, and you're drinking 8.6% alcohol by volume beer, and you got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to the Free Library of Philadelphia.
So don't you do like safety inspections on like fire equipment and shit?
Yeah.
So you got to do safety inspections with smoke alarms at a building filled with flammable materials tomorrow.
Yeah, but I'm not the only one there. So
okay, good. So
but it is a library. There aren't going to be many people there.
and I'm the senior guy, so who cares?
Yeah, Mike will be sleeping in the corner.
I got 2 days before I'm off for vacation.
My suggestion, Mike, just drive over there tonight, sleep in the van, and that way you're there in the morning when you wake up.
I'll get up. No problem.
Kev, how's your week back at school been? So what are you drinking this evening, sir?
It hadn't been bad.
Oh.
Wow. Jack Daniel's Winter Warmer.
Oh, wow. He's in the hard stuff tonight.
That is my wife's all-time favorite.
Mine too, so don't tell her I stole it.
Don't worry, she's got like 3 bottles already.
No, I'm saying my wife. She didn't know that I took it upstairs.
Oh.
So she goes looking for it.
That's a go, man. Jack Daniel's Winter Warmer.
Yeah, she had suggested doing cement mixers, to start the thing to kind of express how great of a movie it was that we watched.
Mm-hmm.
How the movie kind of curdles in your mouth and leaves an awful taste in your mouth once you're done with it. So, but
if he ever gets it open.
Yeah, seriously. Every time they're playing with sharp instruments.
Playing with sharp instruments and alcohol and
oh god.
All right, so while Kevin tries to do
should we call Megan to open it for you?
He doesn't want her to know he's drinking it. So while he's doing surgery on his Jack Daniel's bottle, I'll talk about mine. I ran to the wine and spirits shop the other day to pick up some drinks for some people, and I saw this, and I'm like, this looks interesting. I'm going to try this out. It's called On the Rocks. It's like the pre-mixed drinks,
Okay.
So it's premium cocktails. This one is called the Tequila Espresso Martini. A delightful spin on the espresso martini crafted with Tre Generacion tequila and espresso coffee liqueur. And it is 20% alcohol by volume, 40 proof. So it should be interesting. I have not tried it yet. I figured I'm going to try it live on the show and see how it goes. So I have some in the glass right here. That is tasty.
Ooh, deep.
Watching Kevin open that bottle is reminding me of something like a monkey and a football.
He was the trainer for the Gremlins when they were trying to do it with monkeys.
Guys look like a bunch of monkeys fucking a football.
So we're going to go to our first segment that we usually do on the show, but we have a new intro for it tonight. So let's hit everybody with the new intro. Here we go.
This week in film history with Mike. This week in film history with Mike.
So, Mike, anything special happen this week?
Yeah. So this week we have
almost a whole alphabet full of notes.
a lot of shit. In 1946, the Christmas classic "It's a Wonderful Life," directed by Frank Capra, starring James Stewart, Donna Reed, and Lionel Barrymore, premieres in New York. Leo has still never seen this movie.
Still have never. I have seen more movies than I can remember. I have seen numerous really bad movies. I have seen foreign
we're talking about
films.
tonight.
Yeah, I have seen foreign films. I even watched House of a Thousand Corpses, and I hate that fucking movie. But I have never seen It's a Wonderful Life. And at this point, it's become a point of pride for me because I love the look on people's faces when they say, "You've never seen that?" It actually happened to me on Saturday. I was at my buddy Sal's house, and I mentioned to my aunt that my aunt Annette, that I did not ever see this film, and she was like, "You've never seen It's a Wonderful Life?" And then I had to explain why. What is the next one you got there, sir?
1963, the Pink Panther film premieres, directed by Blake Edwards and starring Peter Sellers and David Niven, with theme music composed by Harry Mancini.
Ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, ba-dum.
Ba-dum, ba-dum,
ba-dum.
Bothers me. I didn't see the Pink Panther once in that movie.
I know. I remember as a kid going, like I knew the Pink Panther from the cartoon, and I remember hearing about the movie as a kid and going, like, "Where's the Pink Panther?" Like I didn't understand the whole thing behind it.
Yeah,
it was explained to me better when I watched the Steve Martin version of this. That's a lie. That movie sucked. All right, next one.
1964, Goldfinger, the third James Bond film, starring Sean Connery and Honor Blackman, premieres in London. Leo's favorite James Bond movie.
This is my favorite. I love this James Bond movie only because of the. You want me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I want you to die. Only time in film history that the villain doesn't give away his plot while he's trying to kill the hero. Next one, sir.
1968 musical fantasy film Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, co-written by Roald Dahl and directed by Ken Hughes, starring Dick Van Dyke and Sally Ann Howes, with songs by the Sherman brothers from Disney. Premieres at Odeon Leicester Square Theatre, London, and also later that week in New York.
And I'll have you know, I just read the other day that there is a reboot of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in the works.
Why?
Because we already rebooted everything from the 80s and 70s. It's time to start hitting the 60s.
Okay.
I hear they're going to have Angela Lansbury make a cameo.
Oh, Dick Van Dyke is still making it.
I was going to make a joke, but I don't know if she's still alive or not.
I mean,
what's her cameo going to be? Is a corpse? But I'm not sure if she's still alive.
Dick Van Dyke's still kicking. They had to evacuate him from his house this week for the fires,
really?
But he's still kicking. Yeah.
No, Dick Van Dyke actually danced in that new what you call movie? The what the fuck movie? Bitch with the umbrella sings about medicine.
Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah, Mary Poppins Returns. I'm looking up Angela Lansbury now. Mike, why don't you read the next one while I do this?
Where are we at? 1969 film adaptation of Hello Dolly, starring Barbra Streisand, premieres, wins 3 Academy Awards.
All right, I have never seen Hello Dolly, so we can add that to the list of movies I've never seen. Not a big Barbra Streisand fan. Angela Lansbury died in 2022, so my joke is valid.
Okay.
What were you saying, Kev?
I was going to say, I forget.
Something about Hello Dolly.
Oh, you are a big Louis Armstrong fan, so.
Yeah. Hello, Daddy. Yeah. I have seen the next movie.
1974, The Godfather Part 2, directed by Francis Ford Coppola and starring Al Pacino and Robert De Niro is released. Academy Award Best Picture 1975.
Yes. So we can be doing the 50th anniversary of that. It's talking about 50th anniversaries.
1974, The Man with the Golden Gun, the 9th James Bond film starring Roger Moore, Britt Eklund, and Roger Lee. What the hell? Christopher Lee. Premieres in London.
Roger Lee.
Roger Lee.
Yeah, Man with Golden Gun, another good one. I mean, I've seen a lot of the earlier ones with Moore and Connery.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen the next. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I was starting the next one. That's all.
All right, go for it because I've seen this one too.
1980, Raging Bull, directed by Martin Scorsese, and starring Robert De Niro as boxer Jake LaMotta and Kathy Morita as his wife, is released in the United States.
So De Niro won Oscar for Best Actor for this film, but the movie and Martin Scorsese lost their Oscar chances to Ordinary People, directed by Robert Redford.
So don't you have to see everything done by Martin Scorsese or you lose your Italian card, right?
No, I have seen everything done by Martin Scorsese, so I'm not worried about it. Except for the last one about the Flower Moon one. I haven't seen that one yet.
You know he has something new coming out, right?
I know. I have to see that before the new one comes out, but I don't have 9 hours to put aside for that movie just yet.
No, it's The Saints, presented by Martin Scorsese on.
Oh, it's a series.
Yeah,
it's a series about the different Catholic saints. It's on
Fox Nation.
Yeah,
weird place to put it.
Yeah, I know. Well, what's the next one there, sir?
1980 comedy film 9 to 5, starring Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, and Lily Tomlin, is released.
Working 9 to 5.
I was gonna say it also has Kevin's favorite actor in it, Dabney Coleman.
Dabney Coleman, man. Unappreciated 80s actor. War Games, Cloak and Dagger.
What's that movie with Bobcat Goldthwait with the talking horse?
Oh,
he was in that.
Yeah.
Next one, Mike.
This is my favorite.
Yeah, I think this is both of your guys' favorite version of this film.
Yeah.
1984, A Christmas Carol, directed by Clive Donner and starring George C. Scott, premieres in the U.S.
Yeah, this is aside from the Muppet Christmas Carol, this is my favorite version.
Yeah.
I did watch the Muppet one the other night.
I watched the Muppet the full length. I've watched this one. And today in school, since we're getting into the holidays, I did, and we're doing animation and film appreciation. I watched the Disney with Jim Carrey.
Okay. Not a big fan of that one, but
the other day I watched the Muppets, this one, and the Patrick Stewart back to back to back.
Mike had a Scrooge-a-thon.
I was wrapping gifts upstairs, so
I would like to see the series that was done. I think it had Guy Pearce and Andy Serkis. I think it might have been on FX or something.
Oh, I didn't know.
Looked more like a horror show than it did like a Christmas Carol.
Although after Mike talked about "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" last week, I watched that too. Sometimes a miracle needs a hand. Next one, Mike.
1985 film The Color Purple, based on the novel by Alice Walker, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover, premieres in New York.
We already talked about this a little bit last week too, because this one lost the Best Picture Oscar to Out of Africa. The next one I've seen, and it did win a Best Picture, so go for it.
1986, Platoon, directed by Oliver Stone, starring Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, and William Dafoe, is released. Academy Award Best Picture and Best Director.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite war films. Platoon. We're going to keep going, Mike, because this week in film history is almost a full episode itself.
Almost. 1998 romantic comedy film You've Got Mail, starring Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, directed by Nora Ephron, and written by sisters Nora and Della Ephron, is released.
I've seen it. It's okay.
It also had Dabney Coleman in it.
Had Dabney Coleman in it as well. That's right.
It did. Mm-hmm.
It also has a Godfather connection because Tom Hanks' character is a Godfather fan. Next one, sir.
2001, The Fellowship of the Rings. First Lord of the Rings film is released, making U.S. 47 million opening weekend and 871 million total worldwide.
And I think we talked about this a little bit last week too, because it lost Best Picture to what was it? The Russell Crowe film, Beautiful Mind.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have in 2002, The Two Towers. Second Lord of the Rings film is released, making $62 million for the U.S. weekend and $926 million total worldwide.
Mike, do you think those two ladies that were sitting in front of us at Fellowship of the Ring actually saw the second two films after that?
You mean there's 6 more hours?
After the disappointment they had knowing that the first one wasn't finished?
If it was someone like we would know, I would say yes, because I could just not watch the end. I would have to see where it went.
Yeah, I need to know what happens next. Except when it comes to Avatar, I still haven't seen the sequel because I didn't care much for the first one, but go for it.
2009, James Cameron's Avatar, starring Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, and Sigourney Weaver, is released in the U.S., becomes the highest grossing film of all time.
I did see it in the theater, which was a cool experience because in the 3D it was really like amazing. But then you watch it at home and it's like, I've seen this story before, done better in other movies. And the last one, a movie that nobody disagrees about.
That is still better than the one we're talking about tonight. 2017, Star Wars: The Last Jedi takes more than 450 million worldwide in its opening weekend, second largest opening in North America with 220 million.
Here's what I gotta say about Last Jedi. If you're one of those people who complains about everything that they've done since Disney took over, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, Acolyte, even if you have complaints about The Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett or whatever it might be, watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. Then tell me what you think about those other products. You want to talk about a cash grab because that was CBS who produced the Holiday Special. It was not George Lucas. So we'll talk about that in a moment. In the meantime, Mike, do you have any must-try beer or craft destinations for us this evening?
I do. I have a craft destination in Ohio. Mad Tree Brewing at 3301 Madison Road, Cincinnati. Mad Tree's original brewery is located in Cincinnati's Oakley neighborhood and includes a tap room, a beer garden, and event space. The brewery is known for its great tasting, non-traditional beers and for its delicious pizza. Meanwhile, its newer alcove location in the historic Over the Rhine district of Cincinnati, located at 1400 Vine Street, is not to be missed experience of greenery with a living wall, living chandeliers, and a greenhouse to grow herbs for garnishing house-made cocktails. They also serve lunch and dinner featuring locally and sustainably sourced ingredients. There you go, boys. Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, add it to the road trip list. All right, so move on to our next segment, which we also have a new jingle for as well. So here is the new jingle for Kev's segment.
Kevin's here, he's here for beer. He's got news, it's beer in the can.
Kevman.
Kevman.
Kevin's here. He's here for beer. He's got news. It's news with Kevman.
Kevman.
Oh, gentlemen. Day in the life of beer news. All right, let's start off with the also saddening. Bud Light is no longer the best-selling draft beer at bars. Hold your tears.
I was just saying, is that
Stop
sad?
your rage. Everybody, just calm the fuck down. Okay.
Is it Miller Lite now?
No, it's better than Miller Lite. It's Michelob Ultra. New data suggests Bud Light is no longer tops in the America's tap room, at least when it comes to the most popular draft beers offered at bars across the U.S. Draftline Technologies, a company that provides software for beverage distributors, found in a recent report that Michelob Ultra, which, like Bud Light, is owned by Anheuser-Busch and Beverage, recently overtook Bud Light in terms of the number of tap handles operating at U.S. venues with beer systems. Jennifer Hawk, a founder of Draftline Technology, said Michelob Ultra has been poised to reach the top spot for years. The rise of Michelob Ultra as the leader by number of tap handles on drafts reflect shifting consumer preferences, Hawk said in an email statement to Nexstar. Michelob Ultra has been on a path to surpass Bud Light as the number one brand on draft by total taps for a number of years. The new Michelob Ultra did it. I'm sorry, the news is Michelob Ultra did it. We have a new number one. News of Michelob Ultra overtaking Bud Light in terms of beer taps comes about a year and a half after Bud Light lost its title of best-selling overall beer to Modelo Especial. In July of 2024, Michelob had also surpassed Bud Light as the second best-selling beer, dropping Bud Light to third place. The decline, at least in part, has been credited to backlash over Bud Light's 2023 collaboration with Dylan Mulvaney, a transgender activist and influencer. The collaboration caused calls for a boycott from critics and the brand's partnership with Mulvaney. Some of Mulvaney's fans, as well as members of the LGBTQ plus community, also became critical of Anheuser-Busch over the handling of the backlash. For a company to hire a trans person and then not publicly stand by them is worse, in my opinion, than not hiring a trans person at all, because it gives customers permission to be as transphobic and hateful as they want, Mulvaney said in June of 2023 in a TikTok video. And the hate doesn't end there. Draftline Technologies, meanwhile, added that Michelob Ultra's rise as the best-selling draft beer is also due to customer taste that reflects a broader alignment with health-conscious premium beer trends. It's important to note that Michelob Ultra's rise has been years in the making, Hawk said. Anheuser-Busch InBev was not immediately available. Man, what the hell did I drink tonight that I can't read? Was not immediately available to comment on Draftline's technology findings, but a representative told CNN that the company is proud to have two of its beers as the first and second most popular draft beers.
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment on that. So if you're boycotting Bud Light and you're going to Michelob Ultra, you're not really doing much. You're still giving money to the same fucking company.
You're just picking a different thing that they both make. You know?
If you want to boycott, then support craft.
There you go.
Yeah.
You want to everybody always talks about supporting small businesses, then support craft.
Or at least make sure you know what brewery is making the beer you're buying. You know, because at least if you went to Miller, you know that's not Budweiser.
That's right. But whereas Bud Light is not doing so well in the draft game, apparently craft breweries are doing great in the draft game. Slow growth is better than no growth, especially for craft beer. There's plenty of bad news out there, so I am happy to focus on some good news, however minor that good news might seem. A recent report by Draftline Technologies, it's another one by them. It's almost as if we're being sponsored by them. Draftline Technologies. No, we're not. The on-premise branch of market research and firm NIQ compared the performance of draft beers at on-premise establishments to packaged beers at those establishments. And the studies show that draft beers outperform packaged beer in on-premise sales. No surprise. If a bar has beer on tap and a reasonable selection of it, that's what most beer drinkers will choose. The study also shares some happy news for some craft beer for the craft beer segment. One of the big stories in the post-pandemic beer world involved the decline of draft beer sales. Craft breweries, for instance, reported that it is increasingly difficult.
Easy for you to say.
I can't read tonight. Increasingly difficult to find outlets for their kegged beers. There's no disputing that. The study states after all the challenges of COVID, the beverage alcohol outlet universe is back in solid growth.
Hey, Kevin. Here, this help.
Maybe. There are now more places selling beer, so there are more places selling draft beer. The report estimates that there are now 1.5 million draft lines in the U.S., more than triple the number available in the 1980s. Well, that's not a big stretch from the 80s to the 2020. I mean, we're looking at 40 years here.
Yeah.
As of March 2024, there are over 300,000 licensed outlets across the U.S., 1.4% more than 12 months earlier. It's particularly important for craft beers. At pubs and bars, patrons are often exposed to new brands and different styles of beer. The tap list at those local tap rooms is where people explore beers and expand their beer universe. In the grocery store, at the other hand, most people are going to grab what they know. And I agree with that fully. I go for flights first. If I can find a brewery that has flights, that's what I want to do. You know, I don't want to fill up on something I'm not sure of. I want a little taste of everything, and then maybe I might leave with something that I tried.
Yep.
You know,
restaurant I was at for my company party today had ice cream flights.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that sounds just as dandy.
It's amazing, especially when you're lactose intolerant. I love an ice cream plate.
Just the top 5 draft segments of all draft beer, 43.4% of it is craft, right? 26.4% of it is domestic. 14.7% is imported. 5.9% is domestic super premium. I have no idea what that means. What is a domestic super premium?
That means if you drive like a big rig, you don't want to use regular.
And understandably, the remaining 2.8% is below premium. So good news for craft breweries. I'm a huge craft brewery supporter. I'm a little sad on some of my favorites in the neighborhood have disappeared, but I wonder if they're counting if you go to a brewery and they offer you a growler or a crowler. Is that technically a tap or is that technically a can?
Yes.
There we go.
It's kind of a little bit of both, I think, right? Because
I would think so because it's
using tap.
Right.
I'm going to go say tap because the can is sort of like, custom anyway. So.
Yep. All right. Last but not least, our favorite bulk shopping experience, Costco, is debuting its festive 2024 stout, and this amidst a shortage of Guinness beer in the United Kingdom. So I'm going to give you the skinny on the boat, gentlemen. Guinness taps run dry in the UK going into Christmas. Talk about the nightmare before Christmas. Diageo, the company that owns Guinness, is limiting pub sales due to exceptional demand for its famous dry Irish stout, which has been rising in popularity among women and young people. Diageo has been, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Diageo or Diageo, has been fine-tuning its marketing efforts over the past few years to try and raise Guinness's profile with women and young consumers, and it appears that the campaign has become successful in the United Kingdom. To counter the escalating situation, Diageo is allocating supplies on a weekly basis to make sure it has enough stock to meet demand over Christmas. Over the past month, we have seen exceptional consumers demand for Guinness in Great Britain. A Diageo's spokesperson told the BBC, "We have maximized supply and we are working proactively with our customers to manage the distribution to trade as efficiently as possible." In Britain, the number of women drinking Guinness is up to 24%. There you go, ladies. And it's the 25 to 44-year-old age group that has grown the most. And I saw something on this earlier. There was a report on the BBC where they went to a pub and they said, "Oh, we've been out. We've been out of Guinness for a bit. We ordered 30 kegs. They sent us 15. It's really getting bad." Maybe the UK can reach out to their local Costco, because what Costco is offering right now is a Kirkland brand stout. Costco, one of America's biggest retailers with an almost fanatical cult following, has released a special beer for the holidays under the company's signature Kirkland brand that has beer lovers in a frenzy. And with Christmas nearing, we can't think of a better gift. Produced by Bend, Oregon-based Deschutes Brewery, and packaged in a classy, old-school, big bottle box, Kirkland Signature Vintage Ale is a massive 12% alcohol by volume stout that was crafted using dark chocolate malt, milled oats, and Dutch cocoa, before being aged 9 months in oak barrels previously used to produce Kentucky bourbon. Okay, I need a Costco membership now. Any of you guys have one?
No. But it'd be easy to go to Costco and refill your shared beer fridge with your fence neighbor.
We were discussing with the Costco team ideas that we had always wanted to bring to life to deliver something really special for members for the holidays, explains Peter Skrbik, the Deschutes Brewery CEO, told Vin Pear. For quite some time, the Costco team has had a vision of creating something that could be recurring from year to year, that members would get excited about, a beer that could become a tradition and part of the season. Gentlemen, there's a couple more paragraphs, but I can't read very well right now, so I'm going to call it. And that's your beer news this week.
That's your beer news with Kevman. We're going to take a quick break, listen to some words from our sponsor, Coffee Brothers, and when we come back, it's time for the most exciting segment in the 177 episode history of the show, the Star Wars Holiday Special. We'll be right back.
I love a good beer, but right now, I can use a good cup of coffee.
Have you heard about Coffee Brothers?
Oh, yeah. They're that coffee company out of New York, right?
Well, they're more like a coffee wizards of New York City. They source these amazing seasonal blends and single origin coffees. It's like a flavor adventure in every cup. And get this, they roast everything in small batches. None of that mass-produced stuff. It's like each bean gets the VIB treatment.
VIB?
Very important bean.
Sounds fancy, but is it worth it?
Definitely. Plus, they're a two-person team. I mean, that's dedication right there. Two brothers, one mission to caffeinate the world. And right now, you can save 10% on your order. I mean, who doesn't love a good discount?
All right, you've convinced me. Let's get some Coffee Brothers now.
Coffee Brothers, where every cup is a sip of perfection. Save 10% on your next order with the code FNF10. That's FNF10. Cheers to great coffee. Hey, everybody, thank you for sticking with us after that short break for our main segment. I got a few little shout-outs to make first. Our good buddy Cthulhu Jack of Cthulhu Jack on YouTube saw the little video I posted earlier promoting this episode tonight, and said that's hilarious. Definitely going to check it out for sure. So thank you, Jack. You're always a good supporter of the show, and I told him he has to come back on at some point because I have a funny story to tell him about Gary Busey. We were talking about it on YouTube the other day. He and I were going back and forth on the comment thing. And I have a shout out for the 80s Comedy Rewind podcast with George Newton. It came up as a recommended podcast for me on Spotify, and I checked it out because he had an episode recently on planes, trains, and automobiles. So I messaged him and said, hey, we covered that too in our Thanksgiving episode. We should do a listen swap. And so we listened to each other's episodes and started following each other. So I wanted to give a shout out to that one, the 80s Comedy Rewind with George Newton, and a shout out to the Die Cut Dudes podcast. Die Cut Dudes are a podcast. It's 3 dudes that enjoy collecting, talking nostalgia about movies, TV, toys, collectibles, sports, and more. They wrote an article on Facebook about why the Star Wars Holiday Special is the greatest Christmas special of all time. So after we do a number 2 on the movie, we'll read their review. So then you can hear that, we're willing to listen to both sides of the argument, even though ours is probably right. But tonight, as I said, we are covering the Star Wars Holiday Special from 1978. And I will say this, there is no trailer for this because it was a TV special. What we do have, though, is the original commercial that aired on CBS advertising it. So here it is. Oh, and I left the whole commercial intact because I want you to see what the show coming on after it is, which seems just as batshit crazy as this.
I don't know. When I started watching it, it told me that the Hulk would not be on tonight because of
the Hulk. Yeah, the Hulk was delayed for the premiere of this holiday special. But wait till you see the show that came on after Star Wars Holiday Special.
Hey, CBS, what's coming on?
Friday, blast off to a galaxy far, far away. It's the Star Wars Holiday Special, starring all your Star Wars favorites. Will Chewbacca get home to his planet in time for the big Wookiee holiday celebration? Watch and find out. Then on Flying High, the girls put it on and take it off.
You know what?
What?
I don't think either one of us is going to get much sleep tonight.
Join us for a Far Out Friday, beginning at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
You're on.
Tomorrow on CBS.
I didn't realize
Flying High.
I didn't realize there was that much softcore porn on CBS in the 70s.
Man, the 70s were...
I would like to point out the Star Wars Holiday Special commercial said, make sure you join us with all your Star Wars favorites, like Bea Arthur, Harvey Korman, Art Carney, Jefferson Starship. So here's your IMDb synopsis for the Star Wars Holiday Special. Chewbacca and Han Solo try to get to the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk to celebrate Life Day, but are impeded by an Imperial blockade. Chewie's family passes the time with various forms of entertainment. That puts it lightly. I would like to throw a little trivia out there for you, though. This is the first time that Chewbacca's home planet is ever mentioned in anything Star Wars related.
Wasn't even called what it was properly known as now.
Yeah. What's that?
What was it called? It was called Kashyyyk or something. It
Kashyyyk
wasn't
or
called
something.
Kashyyyk. Yeah.
So, Mike, in answer to your question, is this canon? Some of it is.
Well, I understand that some of it has been used in other things, like Life Day is used in the Lego special. And I would go as far as, since his dad's a horny thing, horny Wookiee, that whole scene in that we thought was kind of bestiality in the newer Star Wars, we know where Chewie gets it from.
That's right. There's the
that sounded very
yeah. Where's my boyfriend? Yeah, it's oh my god, I totally lost my train of thought on that now.
That sounded very
Yeah.
scary.
They actually mentioned Wookiee Life Day in one of the Star Wars novels that are no longer canon. All right, so here's my synopsis. I've been waiting so long for this because I got some fun pictures and videos to go along with my commentary for this evening. And guys, again, feel free to drop in at any point.
Okay.
Where's my picture at? Oh, come on. Tell me it's not here. I had a really good picture of Harrison Ford looking pissed off about being in this movie. Did it not upload? Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. So anyway, the galaxy far, far away. Here it is. It's uploading it now. The galaxy far, far away introduces us to a thrilling new conflict. Chewbacca needs to get home for Life Day. The stakes couldn't be higher. Here is Harrison Ford. The look on Harrison Ford's face after finding out he was in this. No, look at that. It's not showing me you got us, him. It's us.
Yeah,
hold on.
He is behind all of us.
He's behind us for some reason. It's not supposed to be a background. It's supposed to be an overlay. Oh no! Oh no! What did I do? Did I fuck this up? I think I fucked this up. Let me try this again. This is great podcasting right now, folks. I'm so professional. So professional. Let's see. There he is. There's Harrison Ford.
I love. Go ahead.
That's the look of a man who is like, "What did I get myself into?"
They said they were going to pay you, and he showed up.
He's regretting like his entire like career choice at this point.
I like how they started you off in the Millennium Falcon. That's doesn't look like the Millennium Falcon. Very small. But as they hit light speed, they go to the film version of the Millennium Falcon.
Dude, there's a lot of like film roll in that opening sequence, like the ships chasing them and the planet in the background, and I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of B-roll from the films. I guess it's like a lot of stock they didn't use. Here's the introductions. Ready? They totally fuck over Kenny Baker as R2D2.
They did.
It says with Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, Harrison Ford as Han Solo, Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, James Earl Jones as Darth Vader, Anthony Daniels as
Darth Vader's voice.
As Darth Vader's voice, Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca, and R2D2 as R2D2.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, just because he's a dwarf.
He wasn't in it. He wasn't in it.
He wasn't in the costume?
No, he wasn't in it. They use it was all mechanical. That's why you didn't see him move.
No.
Yeah, that's why they didn't include him.
Kenny Baker was like, screw that, I ain't doing this.
He was the one smart one who was like, have you guys read the script? No,
he was like, I hate it. Okay. He had other plans.
This is going to take away from my artistic ability.
Speaking of what you just said, Mike, Han Solo complains about Wookiee traffic jams while dodging Star Destroyers in what appears to be a dollar store Millennium Falcon set.
Yeah, it was bad.
The first 10 minutes of the program are just Chewbacca's family grunting at each other in their own language. It's like Shakespeare, but less comprehensible. And
was it me, or was Lumpy just a argumentative kid the whole show?
There they are. There's Chewbacca and his beautiful family.
And I love how Itchy's lower jaw went all the way up over his nose.
Yeah, he was missing teeth. So anybody listening to this, I apologize. We have a lot of visuals for this episode. You can always check us out on YouTube if you want to see some of these pictures that I'm posting up of the characters in the film. I call this film, I mean to say piece of shit. So here we meet the family. We meet Itchy, Chewbacca's father, who looks like Bigfoot on meth. We also meet Chewbacca's son, Lumpy, the breakout star that no one wanted, with charisma that rivals a damn sock, like Zach Galligan in Gremlins. Here's Lumpy.
And like I said, he complained about everything that someone wanted him to do. The dishes.
You know what that looks like? The kid's face? It looks like one of those old programs from the 60s where they had the static picture, but a real person's mouth moving inside the face.
I don't know. I thought it was a reject concept for Teen Wolf.
Oh my God. I don't know which is more frightening, Itchy or Lumpy. They're both pretty frightening looking. And don't forget Mala, Chewbacca's wife, who spends most of her time cooking holographic food in a subplot riveting enough to make you pray for a grease fire. She's learning how to cook from this person here, played by Harvey Korman in drag. Harvey Korman plays multiple characters in the film.
He got the big payday on that one.
I keep saying film. I'm sorry, piece of shit. A truly gripping intergalactic experience watching Lumpy watch a 10-minute instructional video featuring Harvey Korman as a malfunctioning robot chef. Because this is a holiday special, we cut to Bea Arthur running a cantina and singing a heartfelt goodbye song to the barflies. In the words of Maximus from Gladiator, "Are we not entertained?"
Goodbye, friends.
Yeah, hold on. I got do I have a? I don't have a cut of that. I thought I had a cut of it, but I don't.
Goodbye,
but it's the part that Mike said is possibly the best part of this show. is her singing to the barflies.
Not the Harvey Korman part where he's pouring liquid into his head. No,
you didn't like that part. I fucking forgot about that. I just watched it earlier and I forgot about it. Art Carney, bless him, plays the comic relief, in quotes, because the Wookiee slapstick wasn't enough. He's selling random junk to the Empire like a galactic QVC host. The Imperial officer's main goal, harassing the Wookiees by flipping through their stuff like nosy in-laws. Make sure at this point you bring in Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, or just Starship. Pick a lane, people. I don't know what the hell they call that group. Playing some weird psychedelic song. Go ahead,
I have a question about this whole thing. So the Empire shows up at the Wookiees' door and starts tearing their house apart looking for the fourth Wookiee.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to it's not advisable to upset a Wookiee? They've been known to tear people's arms off.
Oh, that's just the droids.
Yeah. I mean, also like in New Hope, they spit roasted Luke's whole family looking for him, but they don't do anything to the Wookiees.
Yeah.
You'll be riveted as the stormtroopers are outsmarted by a hairy child. Cut to Kevin's favorite part of the program.
Oh my God! You mean Itchy and the hair?
Yeah. Yes, sir. We cut to a bizarre intermission featuring Diana Carroll performing as some holographic fantasy woman in a scene best described as Wookiee PornHub. No lie, this actually happens. In fact, I have proof.
Gonna insert this proton pack.
Now then, Itchy, I thought you might like this. It's one of those it's kind of hard to explain. It's a wow. You know what I mean? Happy Life Day.
I do mean Happy Life Day.
Takes a long time for Diana Carroll to start Diana Carolyn.
No, you missed a spot there, Lee.
What's that?
Where Lumpy was sitting there playing his game that looked like some psychedelic version of Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, it was like a Cirque du Soleil. If you want to see that, you can just watch episode 1 of Skeleton Crew. They watch it in the
oh no,
in the house of one of the kids. One of the kids is watching it.
God.
Art Carney went from the Honeymooners to Oscar-winning actor for Harry and Tonto to smut dealer on the Star Wars Holiday Special.
And the term proton pack seems to have come up later in the 80s.
In a much more plausible sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I love how he says, "You might like this, Itchy. You're going to like it." Like, Jesus.
And I do mean Happy Life Day.
Happy Life Day. And arguably the best part of the show, at least in my opinion, the animated Boba Fett makes his in-universe debut. But the animation is so bad, you think it might be drawn by toddlers with crayons.
I still think that made the most sense. Like, that is something that had a story to it. I could get behind it.
It had a plot. It had a resolution. It introduced a cool new character.
Mm-hmm.
Took place in an exotic location. It had the other main characters in it, like Luke and the droids and everything. So yeah, to me it was
the only problem I'd say it had was that Han knew who Boba Fett was prior to that, but that's minor.
Boba Fett. Luke Skywalker shows up wearing more eyeliner than a golf kid at prom, proving he's very serious about Life Day. There's Mark Hamill. Now, in Mark Hamill's defense, this was right after he had gotten in an accident, a car accident, that damaged his face pretty badly, and he had to have reconstructive surgery.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason they introduced the whole Wampa scene in Empire, was to kind of hide the fact that his face was damaged.
Actually, that picture made him look like he was actually interviewing for his part as the Joker.
To me, it looks like he was sharing some of the cocaine that Bruce Valanche was using when he wrote the script for this. Princess Leia sings a Life Day song set to the Star Wars theme, making you miss.
What the fuck was that?
Making you miss the Ewoks rendition of Yum Dub even more.
Yes.
We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony.
That's enough of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That was too much of that shit. Now that she can't sing, it's just we don't need that song.
Speaking of Leia, Carrie Fisher looks so over it, you could practically hear her calculating her paycheck in every scene. Every second feels like it's actively trying to test your will to live. It's a Wookiee holiday celebration, so naturally there's a psychedelic light show, because what screams family tradition more than existential despair?
Yeah, I want to go back to that. They get these light things.
Yes.
They lift them up, and the next thing you know, they're in robes walking across space to a rock place. What the fuck?
LSD. Chewbacca doesn't even bother shaving for the occasion. The effort is palpable. Watching the Wookiees march into a glowing orb while chanting Life Day songs is a religious experience if your religion involves masochism. Han Solo hugs Chewbacca's family in the most awkward display of fake warmth ever captured on screen.
You're like a family team. But I gotta go. I double parked the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. The dialogue makes Attack of the Clones sound like The Godfather. The Star Wars Holiday Special wasn't just a TV program. It was a weapon designed to make George Lucas hate his own franchise. Somehow this fever dream manages to be both boring and unhinged at the same time, which is an epic achievement. Here's a group shot to show you how happy everybody is.
Even R2's like, fuck this shit.
Part of me thinks the robe is that they just couldn't afford the whole Wookiee costume for the full length of the shoot.
Oh, absolutely.
So they just had the head to use.
Yeah. It's cheaper to make about 20 Wookiee heads than 20 Wookiee full costumes.
And finally, as you experience the end credits, you feel relief that it's over and realize the true meaning of Wookiee Life Day. Regret.
Wow, that watching that hurt me. I mean, it physically hurt.
Yeah. That's why I was worried you guys were going to hate me after I made you watch that shit, because it is bad, man. It is so bad. If you've never experienced it before, it's like worse than you think.
Oh my god.
I said in the little clip I put out earlier today, if you've never seen the holiday special, don't bother watching it. We did it. We watched it already. We tortured ourselves for your pleasure. Here's some of the.
You won't have to.
Here's some of the schematics for the move for the. Keep saying movie. This piece of shit. The 1978 TV special starring all the Star Wars regulars, plus Harvey Korman, Bea Arthur, Art Carney, and Diana Carroll. There's no box office for this because it was a TV release, as I said. It was a TV special. But I do have the reviews from Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. In fact, I added some to the bottom here. Let me look at this. IMDb, it has a 2.2 out of 10 out of 17,000 plus votes. Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is my favorite.
High, I thought.
This is my favorite. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 25% viewer score and a 25% critic score, making it certified rotten on both accounts. But the critic score of 25% is the same critic score for Madam Web and Kraven the Hunter when you combine them.
So you Madam Web and Kraven are worse than this?
Madam Web has an 11% critic score currently, and Kraven had a 14%, equaling 25%, which is equal to the Star Wars Holiday Special.
So what you're saying is those two movies are worse than this piece of shit?
I don't know. I haven't seen them yet, so I couldn't tell you. Normally at this point we do quotes, but I thought we'd skip it. Considering 25% of the episode is in Wookiee. So that my favorite quote was my favorite quote, if I had to have to give a quote, is "Happy Life Day."
There was a part Adrian did walk in at one part of it while I was watching, and I agreed with her. What the fuck was that stormtrooper doing, tearing the head off the kid's bantha? Come on, man.
He was looking for Chewbacca because he thought he was hiding inside of a stuffed animal.
Come on, man.
So I have the trivia up here. According to Carrie Fisher, George Lucas gave her a copy of the special as a gift for recording the DVD commentary for A New Hope. She claimed that she played it at parties when she wanted her guests to leave. George Lucas tried and failed to buy up all the master copies because, as I said, there's a lot of bootlegs out there. Bea Arthur only appeared in the special because her younger son was a fan of Star Wars A New Hope. 40 years later, almost all of the surviving cast members who appeared in it are still embarrassed by its existence. C-3PO actor Anthony Daniels said that George Lucas has been known to walk out of interviews when an interviewer starts to ask him questions about it, and has said that the show will never be made available again. In the 90s, Lucas said that he believed the master tapes no longer existed. This, however, was proven false as the specials cartoons turned up on the 2011 Saga Blu-ray release. Harrison Ford has said that he doesn't remember much about appearing in it and has never seen it, so there's no point in asking him any questions about it. Mark Hamill has cleverly dodged most of the questions asked of him about it. Only Carrie Fisher talks about it publicly, because Carrie Fisher, of all the people in Star Wars, is the most fuck it out of everybody in that cast.
Yeah, she doesn't give a shit.
You don't care. I'm looking for. Here's the thing you said, Kev. Bruce Valanche has admitted that he was using cocaine heavily while writing the script for the special. Oh, here it is, Kev. Contrary to some reports, Kenny Baker did not perform in the R2-D2 costume in any part of the show. A remote control version was used instead, so I was proven wrong. Harrison Ford did not want to appear in the special, but was eventually convinced.
They just kept adding zeros on that check.
Yeah. At the premiere for The Force Awakens, Harrison Ford was asked how he'd feel about reprising his role for another Star Wars holiday special. His reply was, "I'd rather kill myself." Mark Hamill's face was heavily made up because he was recovering from reconstructive surgery after a near-fatal car accident. I think there's not much else to talk about. Like a lot of the creatures in the cantina scene were from A New Hope. They were like reused costumes. The Life Day song that Carrie Fisher sings is the theme of Star Wars: A New Hope. She demanded that she be allowed to sing in the special, but was ultimately not happy with the song they chose.
I like your tagline because it totally has nothing to do with the movie, the show.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm going to do that next. Tagline. So I got one more thing for you. It's listed in the book. What were they thinking? The 100 dumbest events in television history, in the number 1 spot. It's titled "The Worst 2 Hours of Television Ever." It's only 2 hours because of commercials. It's actually only like an hour and 40 minutes. So here are your taglines for the series. I keep saying series and movie. This piece of shit. Luke Skywalker and Han Solo battle evil Imperial forces to help Chewbacca reach his imperiled family on the Wookiee planet. It's time for Life Day.
Something.
I know. It's time for Life Day, their most important day of the year. Yeah, like that's a synopsis that doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
Now better
Han Solo does hit the stormtrooper that he falls off the tree, but that's about it.
The better tagline is from the bootleg edition that was being sold illegally. The bootleg edition read, "The scariest movie ever made that isn't a horror film."
True.
So finally, I'm going to leave it up to you guys for the last bit here. What is your favorite scene or least favorite scene?
Well, definitely the Wookiee porn is my least favorite scene.
Yeah.
Your least favorite. What was your favorite then? If there is anything you can call a favorite scene.
I'd say the cartoon. The cartoon was salvageable.
I always have to say Bea Arthur.
So I say, I said the cartoon, the animated portion was my favorite part, and like you guys both said, it's the most like Star Wars related story in the entire special. My least favorite scene is probably everything else.
Least favorite
scene.
Yes.
Yes. So just to show you that we're fair, we will look at the opposite end of this argument because our new friends, the Die Cut Dudes, I asked them if we can cover, if we can read their take on the special on our episode, and they said definitely. We're going to give you a follow as well, so thank you guys. So this is their reasoning behind the Star Wars Holiday Special actually being a good Christmas special. So this is this is from the Die Cut Dudes on Facebook. Hear me out. The Star Wars Holiday Special from '78 isn't just a bizarre relic of a galaxy far, far away. It's an underappreciated holiday masterpiece. Sure, people claim it's weird, looking at you, Wookiee Life Day, or that it feels like an intergalactic fever dream. But isn't Christmas supposed to be a little magical and chaotic? Let's break it down. Unparalleled family vibes. Chewbacca risks everything to get home for Life Day. Who can't relate to that struggle of holiday travel, even if your traffic is Imperial blockades? It has epic star power. Carrie Fisher sings. Mark Hamill looks like an action figure in real life. And Harrison Ford's "Why Am I Here" face is a holiday mood. It has outrageously festive variety. Jefferson Starship concert, holographic cooking show, Bea Arthur running a cantina. If that doesn't scream holiday cheer, what does? It birthed Boba Fett. Forget The Mandalorian. The holiday special gave us our first look at the galaxy's most iconic bounty hunter. And it's peak nostalgia. It's not perfect, but neither is Uncle Jerry's eggnog recipe. Like all great Christmas traditions, its charm comes from the imperfections. So this holiday season, skip the Elf and Home Alone replays. Grab your loved ones, dim the lights, and embrace the campy brilliance of the Star Wars Holiday Special. Because if Die Hard can be a Christmas movie, then this glorious Wookiee Wonderland deserves its rightful place under the tree. So die cut dudes, we appreciate your opinion.
I get what he's trying to say too.
Yeah, I get what he's trying to say too. Like there's space for weirdness everywhere.
Yes,
it does. It does fit the mold of a lot of those, like, really crazy Christmas things that people love.
And the the "Why Am I Here" face. I've
Why
had
am I
that.
here face is the best.
I've had that face on certain things during the holidays. Why am I here?
I take it back. My favorite scene is the animated part. The runner-up is Harrison Ford's "Why am I here" face, and then my least favorite scene is everything else.
But he's still wrong. This show sucked.
this movie. I keep saying movie. This piece of shit. I'm glad you guys are still talking to me though. After it, you understand that I was just torturing you out of love. Kevin's cursing me under his breath right now.
No.
I'll
Mike,
get over it.
Do you have any beer trivia or history for us this evening, sir?
Actually, since it's the holiday season, I'm going to give us a public service announcement. The liver requires a lot of water to process alcohol. Try to drink a lot of other fluids when drinking beer. This will prevent dehydration.
Yeah, so make sure you drink whiskey with it, gin, wine, other liquids.
Other liquids, yes.
Other liquids. We have a cinema quote of the week.
A widescreen just makes a bad film twice as bad. Samuel
And a small
Goldwyn
Go ahead.
MGM, right?
Yes, and a small screen makes a holiday special 3 times as bad.
I wonder what he'd have to say about IMAX.
Same old.
Can you imagine the Christmas special on IMAX?
I want to know. I would love to be able to take like a director from like the silent film era and put them in a theater showing Infinity War and see what they say about how movies have progressed.
I will say one thing, positive about this holiday special is they came up with the concept of that virtual reality with that helmet that we have nowadays.
I know a lot of people use their VR for porn too. So
yes, yeah.
I just totally forgot what I was going to say. We'll get back to it. How are our drinks this evening, gentlemen?
Very good, very good.
I drank about a half of the espresso martini that I bought, about half the bottle. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Yeah.
This is dangerous because it did not feel strong, but
stand up.
I don't think I can read.
Stand up.
That's why my wife loves that one.
Yeah. I only had, two not even full glasses, like 2.
Yeah. And in case you're wondering, everybody out there, we're all working tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Kevin stand up and not be able to.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This for film history today. I'm gonna put the Christmas Carol on, and you're gonna watch it, and I'm not gonna analyze it. This is a full watch period. Mr. Tustin's gonna sit at his desk. Shut the fuck up.
Put your hands down. Put your fucking hands down.
Hands down. No questions today. Just watch. I think tonight, just as like a palate cleanser, I'm gonna see if I can find any episodes of that show that followed the holiday special. What was it called again? I don't remember. It was
Flying High.
Flying High. We're gonna look for some episodes of Flying High from 1978 and see how that turns out. Wow. So I forgot to mention earlier, this was also our season finale, season 9 finale. When we come back in the new year, we're going to be premiering with season 10. 10
if
seasons
we have any
already.
listeners left after this.
If we have any listeners left after this episode, that's right. We might have more listeners. You never know. So thanks again for joining us tonight for episode 177, Christmas in a Galaxy Far, Far Away, the Star Wars Holiday Special. We hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Don't forget, you can shoot us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of your social media and podcast links. Become part of the family, the Films and Fermentation family, by supporting us on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/filmsandfermentation. For just $1 a month, Mike will sing to you the Wookiee Life Day song. No, I was talking about the Carrie Fisher one.
Oh.
Don't forget, you can shoot us a text at the Films and Fermentation text line as well at 904-867-4466. We are going to be taking a little bit of a break for Christmas and New Year's so we can spend some time with our family, so we can relax and refresh our batteries before coming back to you with the premiere of Season 10. So don't forget to stop by the crossroads between Pickled and Fermented for the Season 10 premiere on January 16th. That's when that episode will be dropping.
That's going to be
it's going to probably...
review, right?
Yeah, it's going to probably take that long for Mike and Kev to forgive me for making them watch the holiday special. And anyway, happy holidays, folks. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever it is you celebrate. Happy Wookiee Life Day. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
This has been the Films and Fermentation Podcast.
Films and fermentation, movies and inebriation. Films and fermentation, comedy mixed with tasty libations. Films and fermentation.